Question 23. Why is there suffering? This is a question found in a playlist, 50 hot potato questions for Christians. So this question is, why is there suffering? Um, I'm a person who suffers from bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, and I've suffered most days. My sleeping is affected, and bipolar really affects your life, and it's difficult to be seen as someone who's mentally ill and not always in the right mind. So I understand the position of suffering. Why does God allow it? I feel that suffering and sickness comes from the sin of Adam and Eve. I believe suffering came into the world as soon as man sinned, and I feel that sickness and suffering is a consequence of sin. So it's just something that we've got to put up with in the world. Jesus can provide solace for people who suffer. Jesus can draw close to you when you're a person who suffers. You can develop a really close relationship with Jesus as you suffer. In a sense, there's a lot of suffering in the world because man has free will, and man does some pretty despicable things. God has allowed mankind to have free will choices and the ability to choose, and some men are evil and they choose evil. There's men who put women and children and men in situations where they're trafficked as slaves, and there's tremendous suffering for all who are involved in that, and it's pretty horrific that God would allow that, although if he didn't allow that, we'd have a God that was constantly interrupting mankind and coming to the rescue of mankind, and we wouldn't live in a life, we wouldn't exercise a life of free will. It's said by some that God didn't want to create robots, and he didn't want people automatically doing what he wanted, and so one of the outcomes of allowing a man to have a free will is the potential for men to do damage and cause people to suffer. I know my mental illness wasn't caused by any specific person. I know my mental illness was genetic. I did have a hard situation of a custody fight that helped me have my breakdown. So it was caused by a situation with my former wife. But I cope, and I've developed a good relationship with Jesus. Suffering definitely draws you close to Jesus and can be used to help you draw close to Jesus. But I feel compassion and empathy for people who suffer, because suffering isn't a good thing, and it's one of those questions that remains a mystery to some. I hope that I've helped you understand a little bit about suffering, and I hope mentioning that I suffer help to uh, answer that question and relieve your thoughts about the situation. I pray that this video has helped. God bless.